Everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Happy New Year. Look at the fireworks going. Roy, no fireworks?
Did we forget the firework plug-in? In the year 2020, you should just be able to say fireworks and the screen.
Well, actually, your phone does that.
It does.
Like if you say Happy New Year to someone,
it goes nuts. It surprised me the first time. I wrote somebody Happy New Year, and they went like, boom, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, okay. Freaks me. I'm old, I guess. That's what that means.
Yeah, that is what that means. I shot off some more fireworks yesterday for no reason. Small ones in my backyard.
Of course you did.
So, that's it. I don't know what else to say. Oh, our Kickstarter. We should probably. Okay, so the Dice Tower Kickstarter is starting up on Monday. Mm-hmm. It's very, very close. So if you like what we've been doing and you want to support us and you want to get some cool promos, Monday is your time. Come back 12 noon. We'll be launching our Dice Tower Kickstarter.
I feel like there's something else starting on Monday too, right? Isn't there something else relatively big happening? Top 100 games of all time?
That's right. Woo! I saw you finish your list.
I did. It's a beast, folks. You don't realize how hard it is to rank all these things. I did it, of course, without looking at the old one.
Has it changed?
It's changed dramatically. I think I took a very different approach to it this year.
Here's the thing. I thought mine would change more than it did.
You thought it would change more than it did? No, mine has changed quite a bit. It's I kind of went into it with brand new, fresh eyes. I said, well, how would I do this if there was no precedent? Right? I had never done it before.
Oh, precedent.
That's what I said. I thought I pronounced that very carefully.
Like, what does the president have to do with anything?
If we were in a lawless land, if there was no precedent in play, like no, I hadn't done it before, yes. And if I also was not going to publish it. I just did it like for me. You know what I mean? So I didn't feel tied to anything from before.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited.
You'll see.
All righty. Well, speaking of excited, let's jump to the news. Alrighty. Well, for our Dice Tower news this week, instead of taking a look at news, there's a few pieces of news, and we'll cover those next week. We're going to take a look at the top 10 news stories of the year.
Oh, okay.
Ish.
Cool.
Okay, so Mike DeLisio helped me compile this.
I like
we
that
went
guy.
through. This is in no particular order, and maybe we missed something, in which case the comments can mention that.
Yes.
Okay, these are just various news stories. There wasn't anything this year that I thought was like earth-shattering, like as were they buying Fantasy Flight.
Right.
I don't think there was anything like that. So let's get started.
Okay.
So first of all,
I haven't seen these, by the way.
in sad news, several people in the industry died this year. James Math, who ran Minion Games, Chad Jensen, Richard Berg, Francis Tresham, all three fairly big-name war game designers. Yeah. So I think this will happen more and more, unfortunately, as time goes by, because our industry is, the game is, we're getting older. Yes, we're getting young blood in the industry, right? But
the industry is at that point where it as a whole has enough years now that you'll start seeing folks simply pass away. Yeah, yeah, it's bittersweet news. I think it's very sad that these folks passed away, of course. But it is interesting that the industry has been around long enough that this can and will happen.
Sure.
And
it will probably eventually we'll be doing at the end of each year an in memoriam.
Yeah.
I would imagine as time goes by.
Yeah.
Some big announcements. Frosthaven and Ankh. Some big announcements we're starting to see each year. One of the news stories is what's coming out next year. Mm-hmm. Like these are both big games that are. Ankh is going to be released. This was the third in the trilogy of Rising Sun and Blood Rage. Right. And then Frosthaven, the sequel to Gloomhaven. These are not the only announcements, but this was my 10th piece of news. So, all right. This one here is in reference to Essen this year. This was a big deal. If you remember, the Iranian publishers weren't able to make it in.
Yes,
This was I don't know that this was ever actually resolved to any degree.
I don't know. I think so. The news, the announcement of them not being able to come
That was a big deal,
into
right?
the country, Germany, that news broke. I don't know if there was a resolution or a part 2
I know
to that
that I think
story.
one person got in. I don't know that we ever even ran across the games at Essen, but this was a big deal, right? And it shows every once in a while, and this is one of 2 pieces of news, where I try to stay as apolitical in the Dice Tower or not, but sometimes politics does enter our world for various reasons.
Right.
And this is one case, and so we'll see what happens next year in this regard. Come On announced the Taburu system. This is, I'm hoping this is one of the biggest news stories of the year.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, the announcement was big news.
Sure, where you're going to be able to, this is combining electronics with board games in a very different way than you've seen before, where the board itself has electronics in it and you move the pieces around. Now, this is not the first time this has been done. This was done a decade ago. Reiner Knizia, actually, with King Arthur. Remember that game he made?
No.
Okay, so there was a King Arthur game. It only came out in German.
Okay.
And the pieces, there was something about electronic ink. And as you move pieces around, things would happen, and it sounded amazing, and it bombed. I mean, it really bombed.
Okay, never heard of it. No.
So this is a similar thing. I played an early prototype of this system with Zombicide, a game I'm not even that big of a fan of, and I was pretty pumped about it. As you move your pieces, the app will tell you what's going on. It has the ability to bring in extraneous events, which I think is fantastic. It's something I've been wanting for a long time. So this could be another dud as time goes by, but eventually one of these is going to work.
Right.
It's going to happen in our future at some point. You know, it's kind of like, remember when we were kids, they talked about the TV phones,
Sure.
and they just didn't take off because it was like a user problem. Z might go out and buy one, but if no one else has a TV phone.
Sure.
And for years, we had the capabilities and no one did it, but the smartphones finally came.
It found its way to it with a roundabout kind of way, you know?
Yeah, between Skype and smartphones, now people can have these video things.
Right.
It just took years, and I think the same thing will happen here. Alrighty, Funkoverse starting as a company. Now, Funko is a huge company. I didn't realize there's actually a stadium up there in that area that's a Funko Stadium. You know?
Really?
Yeah, they got money. And this is obvious because pretty much every store I go in sells Funko Pops.
Sure. They're
I mean, it doesn't matter.
hugely popular.
Doesn't matter what the store is. I was at
You went to Claire's and they had some.
No, but I was at Michael's
You were definitely
yesterday.
at Claire's.
I was at Michael's getting stuff for the Dice Tower library, and they had a Funko Pop section.
Really?
They even have Funko Pops that you could paint yourself.
Really?
Yeah, it's just this huge business. And
Wow.
so, I
No,
know.
they're huge. They are huge. So yeah, they began
So then
basically
they-
a game arm of the company.
Right, they bought Prospero Hall, and you'll still see some Prospero Hall games they're in with other publishers, but they're basically going to all be under Funko games now. The first one was the Funkoverse strategy game, but they said that they'll be doing a lot of games that are not that way.
That's cool.
This has the ability to become a big deal. Like, we'll see how big they get at conventions.
This is neat news.
Alrighty. Shipping. Now, this, fortunately, has had a somewhat happy ending. This is the other piece of political thing, the tariffs.
Yeah.
Right? The tariffs on China, the trade war between China and America, and one of the things was toys, and games fall underneath that category. And there was a big deal. The date was not too long ago, and then they kind of pulled back on everything. So at this point in time, still don't know where that is. But the game industry as a whole, we realize how reliant the game industry is on Chinese production.
Yeah,
Period.
absolutely.
I mean, some companies print in America, and you can tell because their prices are usually just much higher than everyone else's. And there's a little bit of printing in Germany.
Right.
But for the most part,
Yeah, and the shipping is a big part of that. Production, shipping, all those things that we as hobby gamers are reliant on.
right. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's this continuing story, and who knows? And it's probably going to. This sort of thing is going to have a play in the elections this year, and that is the extent of my talking about that. All right.
Wow, I said the word precedent, and suddenly we're talking about elections.
Wingspan, easily the most, we talked about this when we were going over the decade, the most popular game to come out this year, but it also won the Spiel des Jahres.
It did.
Or was it the Kenner Spiel?
It was the Kenner Spiel.
The Kenner
yes,
Spiel.
yes.
But this is a big deal for a lot of reasons. It's one of the biggest known games in the last few years, in a while, designed by a woman, a big deal,
right.
and a really big game. Whether you like it or not, I know it's kind of, there's a lot of people, it's kind of cool to hate whatever the popular thing is, but you don't have to like every game. That's fine. But there's no denying that this game did a couple things. One, it was a more widespread theme. I know I say online, people are like, I don't like birds. Sure, but a lot of people do.
Right. And it's not
nerdy.
It's not nerdy. I mean, it is its own way of nerdy, but it's like accepted nerdy. It's not goblins. You're not collecting goblins. You're collecting or, watching birds. It's, like you said, from Elizabeth Hargrave, and that's a big deal, not just because it's a woman, but also it's pretty much her first game. I mean, it's second, technically, if you want to think of, the tussy-mussy little card game. I think technically it was done first. But that's a big way to come onto the scene, with a game that looks this good, has this kind of production behind it, wins a major award, is just on everybody's lips. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Totally made her name a household name.
Yeah,
in
she's
our
one of the
industry.
most well-known designers at this point,
Right.
on basis of this one game, basically.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Board Game Geek, I could mention their new logo, but that's not the news here. The big thing I thought was Board Game Geek did their pre-order system. This was a new way to deal with conventions. Pre-orders can be kind of a pain in the neck for companies to do because, the Kickstarter, hey, sometimes you back a Kickstarter and they'll be like, pick up at a convention.
Oh, sure.
And Board Game Geek made this pretty easy. You can go through the lists of their things and you could purchase the game ahead of time and then just go and not have to rush.
Right.
Now, did this stop the rushing at Gen Con? It did not.
Yeah, it didn't work. And they also were not doing this with every company. They worked out with some
Right, not every
companies
company wants to do it.
that they would do that, yeah.
One company told me, I want people to run for my games. Like, all right, well, there you go. But a lot of companies did do it.
Right.
So I thought it was an interesting thing. We'll see where it goes. Asmodee picked up the distribution rights for Come On. Now, this may not seem like a big deal, but it really is a big deal behind the scenes.
Right.
Asmodee is now, if you call and need help with your Come On games or you figure out how to get Come On games to the store, Asmodee has those. That's a big deal considering for a while we thought Come On might be a pretty big competitor with Fantasy Flight at the time, right? And now I would not, there's no insider knowledge here at all, promise. I would not be surprised if someday you'll see Asmodee pick up Come On. But that could not happen too because Come On is a publicly traded organization in Hong Kong at least.
Right.
So
it could
who
just
knows?
be that they are working together in this capacity, and that will be it. And that's what's going on right now, yeah. I mean, these big players work together. I guess it makes sense. It keeps the industry strong, right?
Yeah. Kickstarter passed $1 billion of gaming projects funded.
I
$1
haven't
billion.
seen a penny of that. What's going on?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I
what
guess
are you talking
I have.
about?
I have. I'm lying.
But remember when Alien Frontier was funded for $36,000?
That's crazy thinking about that. Now, I mean, back then you were like, what? 30? How much? They made that on this website where you ask for money before you get the game? Now nobody blinks at this stuff. That is a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
So that's it. There's other news, sure. If you think of it, mention in the comments. Maybe we'll talk about it later in the show. But for now, let's keep moving. All right.
Ja, Deutschland, über alles. U-boat, ja.
Phalanx Games and U-Boat. This is a real-time strategy game. It's happening now. As soon as you start playing, things are moving. How was that? Well, it uses an app. You use your iPad. You download the software. You click play, and you're sailing in real time. This is a 1 to 4 player game, and your basic setup looks like this. You got your player boards and your tokens and what you can and cannot do. So, hit play on the app. Everybody's got to be in their position. The captain says, okay, let's go. I've got these positions that we got to get to. So he goes to the navigator and says, okay, section 43, section 45. Now you got to plot out how to get there.
Well, how do you do that, Pop?
The captain reads out a couple of numbers, so you as the navigator, you take this map, and you jot down those numbers, and then you use a
Protractor and a ruler.
Wow! Relax, it's easy. The tough part about being a navigator is that you share duties, right? And one of his duties is to be the cook. And if you don't feed them right, they're gonna complain. And when they complain, morale goes down. And when morale goes down, there's fights. And then it's chaos! Not fish again! Get the cook! I like this game already. Chaos ensues. So when the runt loses it like that, what are you gonna do? You shoot him! And all the other guys, the morale goes down, and you gotta help them with first aid, your stocks go down. It's a bad thing, man. This is happening in real time. There's also voting in this game, and if you endanger the lives of everybody else on the submarine, you're gonna be voted out. And when you're voted out, bad things happen. So all the crews vote you out, cause you sucked. You know what's fun about the rulebook here is that if you're playing the captain, you only read what the captain does. The navigator reads only what the navigator does, and so on and so forth. So basically, your rulebook is cut in 4. Plus, there's player aid cards with a setup diagram tells you what to do for every single player. You got tutorials, tactical guides, many examples of play. Like when you see an instrument like this, you're probably gonna say, don't worry about it. This is the captain's board. He takes care of the morale. Look, if you look at number 11, things are very nice. It's all gold. You smoke a pipe, have a coffee, and as your morale goes down, there's the cyanide. And if it goes really bad, well, you shoot yourself in the head. Components are great. The map is made out of vinyl because you are underwater. And how can you not flip out when you play with a miniature like this? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Very immersive. U-Boat by Phalanx Games. Check it out. It's Christmas, people.
What was that?
I don't know.
All right.
What's happening right now?
Today is a 5-question showdown.
5 questions.
So I got this. Today's comes from the idea that, like the Mandela effect, where something is Mandela effect.
Repeating symbols. Huh?
No.
What is
Basically, it's where something is repeated so often you think it's true. So this actually comes back to a previous board game breakfast we did, where one of our contributors pointed out that sugar makes kids go crazy, right?
Sugar.
And in fact, that's not true. Sugar does not make you go crazy.
Really?
Yes, it's actually proven by Dr. Sugar does not make you go crazy. So why do kids get crazy when they're given sugar? Because they're told they will.
Ah.
It's 100%. Now, sugar will give you a boost to some degree.
Sure.
But sugar does not make kids bounce off the walls and all over the place.
Okay.
Fact. I know Roy's looking at me like,
Look
I know.
at that.
It's
Bad.
wrong. Look it up. It's true.
Bad
All right, so I'm going to give you 4
parenting.
statements.
Give your children
There
as
we
much
go.
sugar as you like.
I'm going to give you
That's the
4
message
statements
that we're-
about things that people think are true, but they're actually not. But one of them is actually true.
Okay.
Oh, Snapple.
All
Okay,
right.
I think I got this.
And so
I've read
here's
some
how
books.
this works, though. You can pick it. We're going to start with Roy first, because I'm pretty sure he lost last time. I don't even know who won.
I got second.
I think I
which is-
lost, but that's all
we're
right.
going to start with Roy because he's over
I
there.
don't remember.
So I'm going to read 4 statements. Or I'm going to give you some stuff, and then you tell me which part where I'm lying. All right?
Okay.
And then Roy will guess first, and each of you can guess. Now, if you get it right, you get a point. If you get it right and other people don't pick it, you get 2 points. Oh, so by going second, you might pick something different than him, hoping to get 2 points.
Right.
Man, that is strategery right there. You thought about this.
I did, actually. Alrighty.
All right, let's
So the
do
first
it.
one
To
is.
say
That's the
which
lie.
one
He
you're
didn't think
lying
about
at?
Sure, I'll
That's
give you
the
4
lie.
statements. Okay, so people commonly have said, for various reasons, that sharks don't get cancer. That for some reason sharks can't get cancer. But the fact is, sharks can get cancer. In fact, often will. Second, people say that you can see the Great Wall of China from space, but that's an actual factual error. You cannot see the Great Wall of China from space. You can't see any man-made structures from space. 3, it's often said, me and my wife have talked about, putting salt in water makes it boil faster. That actually is not true. Putting salt in water does not make it boil faster. Number 4, Fruit Loops are all different colors. It's commonly said, even though they're all different colors, they all taste the same, but actually there are different flavors in each of the Fruit Loops.
So how many of these are lies?
Only one.
Only one is a lie.
Well, only one of what I said's a lie. What people commonly think about it.
I think the Great Wall of China one's a lie.
You think you can see the Great Wall of China from space?
Yes.
Okay. Mike,
Okay. So you're saying 3 of those were true, 1 of those, and I'm trying to find the one that's a lie.
that's correct. As far as I know, I've done a lot of research on this, but I could be wrong.
I'm going with Fruit Loops.
Okay?
Fruit Loops are definitely.
How do you spell Fruit Loops, by the way?
F-R-O-O-T.
That's right. Most people think it's spelled F-R-U-I-T, and it's not.
Can I win just
Why
for
would
that?
they misspell the word fruit? It's definitely how you spell fruit.
This is how you teach the children how to spell with
Yeah.
their breakfast cereals.
How about fruit by the foot? How do you spell that?
Go.
All right. I think it's the Wall of China one also. Fruit Loops, that's definitely garbage. They all taste like cardboard. It's the same flavor. It's cardboard flavor, which is a type of fruit.
Well, if you think it is the same flavor, then that would be the one you'd pick, because I said they're actually different flavors.
Right.
Great Wall of China, then.
All right. And the answer actually is Fruit Loops. They're all the same. It doesn't matter.
come on!
You cannot see the Great Wall of China from space. I don't
Have
know
you
why.
ever tried?
I don't know why people think that anyway, because it's not even that big.
No.
Right? I mean, it's long, but there are other bigger structures.
How far up do you have to go to consider it space?
Oh, yeah, no, we're not
out of
going to do
the
that.
atmosphere, I would
So that's
say,
2
right?
points for Mike.
Plus a bonus point for Fruit.
So
F-R-O-O-T.
unfortunately, Mike, that means you have to go first this round, because
Okay.
other
I got
people
2
get a
points
chance.
for that, though.
All right.
Because I,
All
like
right.
a moron, went with where Roy picked. That's the last time I'll make that error.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so Walmart sells a lot of stuff.
Oh, that's it. I got this. Here we
right.
go.
So
I've been
people go to Walmart, and it's commonly thought of like candy or something else is the most common thing sold at Walmart. But the most common thing that Walmart sells more than anything
Underwear.
else is bananas. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, people. My dad told me this when I was a kid, that if you dropped a penny off the Empire State Building, you could kill someone. And the fact of the matter is, you can't. It will hurt, but it will not kill you if a penny hits you that's dropped off a very tall building. 3, Christmas time just happened. 3 wise men. We always sing about them and everything, but actually the Bible never mentions the fact that there was 3 wise men. 4, Einstein, smartest person ever, but we always use him as an example to kids. We're like, hey, don't worry about it. Einstein failed math class. Actually, he didn't fail math class, and that's just made up.
All right, well, I'm leaning between 2. I'm going with bananas. Bananas
Bananas?
at Walmart.
You think Walmart sells a lot of bananas? All right. Z.
He's got elaborate notes.
I do.
Schematic diagram.
I'm going to
Flow
go
charts.
with the. I'm going to go with the 3 wise men.
So you think the Bible does mention there's 3 wise men?
Sure.
All right. Roy.
Wait. How did you read that again?
I
Which
got
one?
you, man.
The wise men?
Walmart banana.
Oh, you're saying that. Oh, wait.
He's saying there are 3. The Bible does say there are 3 wise men.
At least 3. Okay, check it out. Look, I got the detailed notes. Walmart bananas, penny Empire State Building, 3 wise men Bible, and whatever he said.
What was the
Einstein's not
failing
failing
math.
math.
Not failing math.
Okay, the Einstein one is a lie.
Oh, he for sure failed. He was bored out of his
Yeah,
mind, I
yeah.
think. Is
He-
what
Actually, so someone asked him later on, because this was a rumor even in his life, and he said he laughed and said he never failed math. He did fail an entrance exam for a college at one point, but not math. In fact, he did quite well at math.
no.
Sure.
The Bible
spelled
says
math
there were
F-O-R-R.
wise men. It gives us no number. So we know there was at least 2, and there could be 200, but never mentions the word 3.
Yeah.
People get 3 because there were 3 gifts.
And they're the massive gifts that several wise men had to carry.
I don't know.
We're thinking.
All right. Actually, it's Walmart sells bananas.
Oh, this game was tailor-made for me, baby.
You gotta stop reading.
Mike-
2 in the morning.
I am a fountain of useless knowledge.
Oh, he's just online like, oh, bananas, huh?
I've also lived longer than everybody at this table combined.
Not quite that much.
Maybe.
All righty. Mike, you go
All
first
right.
again.
All the
All
bananas
right.
he ate.
All right.
I do like a good banana, right?
Clouds. People say that clouds can weigh over 1 million pounds, but that's not true. They're actually quite light. In school, number 2, we learned that we have 5 senses. Actually, scientists say we have many more than 5 senses. 3, if you see a baby bird in the ground, people say don't touch it. The mother bird will smell that a human touches it, and they won't put it back in her nest. That's not true. Birds don't have that great of a sense of smell, and no baby bird will be fine. 4, On the TV and movies all the time, they'll say someone's missing, but we got to wait till they're gone 24 hours before telling the police. And the fact is, the police do not automatically wait 24 hours before filing a missing persons report.
All right, it's another one where I'm wavering between two.
Is he starting this one or?
No, it's me again, right?
It is you, because he got the last
see.
question right, so he has to go first, because that gives you guys a chance to follow him if
To
you
get
think he's
more
right.
points. Yeah, it's a catch-up mechanism, Roy.
That's never
Catch-up
worked for me
mechanism.
before.
All right, I'm going to go against my gut. I'm going to go with the birds.
The birds, okay?
Okay, so let me get this right here. What was the last one you said? The 24 hours
Yes.
thing? So what you're saying is they will file it right away.
No, I'm not saying they will file it right away.
And if I
but
think
they don't
they will
automatically
not.
they don't automatically wait 24 hours.
Okay, right. So if I'm thinking,
That it might depend on the age of the
I'm just
person.
a little thrown by the way these were phrased. So if I think, no, they will wait 24 hours, this is not the one I pick.
No, if you think they will wait 24 hours, then you pick that one.
Okay, I don't think so. And then the other ones, the 5 senses. If I think there are more than 5, then I pick this one.
No,
Really
you think
confused.
if there's only 5, you pick that one.
I'm gonna go with that.
You think there's only 5 senses.
Sure.
Okay, Roy.
I'm gonna go with the police report thing or the missing person.
Alrighty.
You forgot the sense of style, Z.
And
I'm
actually,
hoping they don't count those other senses.
actually,
Sense of
you're all
balance and
wrong.
stuff.
Clouds weigh
That was
over
my-
$1 million pounds.
That was I was thinking that they're going to have to figure out the weight of water and how much water, because you can't weigh a cloud, right? It's not like you can go up there with a scale, I hope. You can't go. I mean,
Yes,
you have
of
to
course.
yeah, so that was my gut, and I went against it. That's all right.
Alrighty. Sense of there are many senses.
Sense of balance.
Sense of balance
Yeah,
is
but
one.
that's not the same thing.
How is it not the same thing?
Sense of humor.
What about sense of heat? You can sense temperature. That's
That's
definitely something.
touch.
No, it's not touch. You can touch something but not know how hot or cold it is. You're right, I'm cold.
You're
So
getting
the
warmer.
police won't start searching no matter how much blood there is.
No, they will.
No, they will.
Okay, it's like an
that's
Oh, I had it wrong.
that's
I had it backwards.
a myth. The whole
I had it
like, oh well, they're
Yeah,
missing.
on the
but
internet, like a TV show, they'll say
The way
something
you
like,
read
we
these
have
is
to
really
wait-
confusing.
Well,
It is.
he asked a clarifying question. You didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
kind of hard. Okay, one
All right.
more.
No, we got 2 more. Here we go. Who got that one? No one did. So we're back with Mike still.
All right.
Jeez.
All right, Mike.
Sorry, buddy.
We were taught as a kid
I'm
that
not doing
different
this
parts of
anymore.
your tongue have different tastes. You have a sweet part, a
Okay.
sour part, etc. That's false. There are not different parts of your tongue for taste. I was taught that pineapples take years to grow. My wife sticks one in like the top part of it in our yard and then it's supposed to grow back. Actually, it only takes a few months. Iron Maidens, not the band. The actual Iron Maidens that we see, they were never actually used as medieval torture devices. They were created in the 18th century for circuses as if they were torture devices. And 4, unless you're afraid that the sleepwalker is about to punch you, it's okay to wake a sleepwalker. When they're sleepwalking, they're not going to have a heart attack or anything.
Okay. I'm going with the Iron Maiden.
The Iron Maiden. So you think that they were medieval torture
I think
devices?
they were medieval torture devices.
All right. Z.
Again, these are confusingly phrased.
Well, then,
Hit me
I know
again.
it's because I'm giving you the backwards. I
Okay,
get that.
go ahead. Do it again, just real quick.
Your tongue can taste stuff on any part. Sweet, sour, whatever. There's
It's
not different
true.
sections.
They have specific sections. Okay, what else?
Then that would be the one you'd pick.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is one you're picking?
Yeah, that's
Oh, wait,
definitely
wait.
All right.
true.
So that would be the one you pick if you believe that.
If you think that there are different
then
sections of the tongue.
Well, I won't change it, but I think you're right. I think you're right.
I'm gonna do the tongue one too.
Yeah, I think you're
Well,
both
then
right.
you do that too
no,
if you want to.
No. You go.
Definitely true. I mean,
think
there
you're
are
right.
sections
I'm-
to the tongue.
Nope, you're all wrong. The tongue can taste sweet and sour stuff on all the different parts. Look it up.
Oh.
Pineapples is the one that's wrong. Pineapples do take years to grow.
Really?
At least 1, maybe 2.
Flawed.
Time to take my money. out
Iron
of gold.
Maidens, there's no evidence that they existed before the 18th century.
Wow. Okay.
Alrighty.
We're great at this game, guys.
Oh, well, one of you's doing okay still. Alrighty. Well, last question doesn't count, but we're going to play it anyway.
Yeah.
Just give some points to people. Because right now the score is 4-0-0.
This is golf, right?
All right,
We're supposed to have
Mike.
the lowest score possible.
Milk does not increase mucus. It's okay to have milk when you have a cold.
Okay.
2, bats are not actually blind. That's just a thing that's been sent around. They can see. 3, some people say that, or it was been commonly said that dolphins in different wars were trained to find mines, in the water. Didn't happen. And 4, goldfish I actually have a memory of about 3 months, not this 5-second nonsense or 3-second nonsense.
I never even heard that about goldfish. Okay.
Never heard a goldfish have a super short memory?
No.
Yeah, like you have the memory of a goldfish is a common saying.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe, I must have
It's
been
like
told.
the opposite
Maybe I
of an
forgot
elephant.
that. Yeah. Maybe I forgot.
I think it has something to do with size.
Do me a quick rundown again.
Milk does not
Milk.
increase mucus.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay to have dairy products when you're
If
have
we
a
think
cold.
it does.
Then that's the lie.
Okay.
If you think bats are blind, pick the second one, but they're actually not blind. Dolphins were used by the military for various functions, including finding mines in the water. If you think that's false, then you pick that one.
Okay.
And goldfish, if you think they do have a short memory span, you'd pick that one.
The goldfish I've never even heard of, so I'm going to go with milk because I think milk does create mucus.
All right.
Me too.
Roy.
Dolphins, because dolphins are cool. Why not train them to blow themselves
Well,
up?
I think they did though, right? If we
They
thought,
did, I
yeah,
think
if we
so.
yeah.
Wait,
That's what I said. I said that dolphins were not used to
Yeah,
find
so I
mines.
think. Oh, okay.
So if you think they were, then you'd pick the dolphins
I'm sticking
one.
with milk. but
Boom,
it could be
dolphins.
dolphins. Could be dolphins.
Roy, you're on the board!
Dolphins!
Yeah,
Milk does not cause mucus!
Really?
Give me a
So
glass
many
of
things
milk
you've
right
been
now. See what happens. Bring me a glass
Right.
of your thickest of milks.
Alrighty, let's move to some of our contributors. Congratulations, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we brought on my sister Amy to talk about Blank Slate. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we're doing to try to achieve better health.
And since we have Amy, we like to put her on the hot seat. So, Amy.
Yeah, I am a group fitness instructor at the Y, have been for almost 8 years, and this time of year is a great time to go join a gym, maybe go visit some group fitness classes, see what works best for you and your body, and the great part about that is you'll have other people there to help keep you accountable.
All right, that is awesome. All right, so Blank Slate, this is a party game where you are given a word and a blank either before or after it. You have to fill in that blank secretly, and you all flip it over at the same time. You try to match up with other people, and you get points based off of how many people you matched up with.
Yeah, this game is great in any setting. I've played it with work friends, I've played it with family, I've played it with gamers, and it worked with everybody, and I liked the flexibility that the game had.
Yeah, it was really easy and quick to learn, and even kids from ages about 6 and up is what we played with, had a lot of fun, and there were a lot of laughs all around.
Yeah, this game, I really loved the way it made your brain think. You know, you're writing down what you think is the obvious answer. It's going to secure you some points for sure. And then you flip it over and nobody matched with you. And a lot of laughs, a lot of fun on the table. This winter, as you're cooped up in the house, get some people over to come with you, play this game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, if you'd like to hear our full thoughts on Blank Slate, follow us on Facebook or YouTube under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews, and you can also find out more about being a fitness instructor through our special guest, Amy. This is Ryan. I'm Bethany. This is Amy, encouraging you to have a happy, healthy breakfast. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Over this holiday season, I've played a lot of games with my relatives. My sisters were in town, my brother was in town. My family puts up with me a lot. We play new games all the time. My niece got a lot of games. My sister got a lot of games for Christmas. They get a lot of those little games from Target that are actually pretty good. And this is just a reminder that whenever we are teaching games, that we want to teach games, if we're playing with non-gamers, we always want to understand that they don't have the same experience as playing games than we have. So if we are playing games over and over and over again, we're playing different games all the time, learning new rule sets, there's a lot of overlap with games that we're playing. And so we're playing a game called Ramen Fury that my niece got for Christmas. I read the rules, I taught it to them, I had never played it before. But in it, it kind of has an action point allowance system. On your turn, you get 2 actions. You can draw a card, play a card, discard a card, trash all the cards that are out there, steal a card from an opponent, those kind of things. But you get 2 actions on your turn. It kind of felt like a traditional card game, but in a traditional card game, you might play a card, pick up, or draw a card. You might draw a card, play a card. You know, those kind of actions are very similar. But in this game where you can take 2 actions, you could draw 2 cards. You could play 2 cards. And so there was a lot of confusion around the table for the people that hadn't played a lot of games before because they were so used to that, you know, play a card, draw a card, play a card, draw a card. And so they kept doing that. But when somebody would do something different, it was really jarring within the system of that game. And so these kind of rules that sometimes we are used to, these exceptional rules, these rules that, you know, only make sense some of the time, we just need to be reminded that whenever we're teaching these kind of games, you can't assume that they know the same stuff you know. And so you can't teach it from a level of understanding, a level of knowledge. So just a friendly reminder from me to not do that. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to
It's my time to play.
20 Questions.
Well, we need a bunch of kids going 20 questions. You know how that?
No, let's. You got to pay the kids to do that.
No, not. I can find you some.
How many?
7. Actually, no, not 7.
A bunch.
Melody's
Kids.
Melody will be in. Hey, Melody got engaged over New Year's. I know, it's weird.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
That's not. No, I didn't say that. I said engaged.
It means you're old.
It does.
You're old.
All right.
All right, here's how this works. You have a possible 20 questions, and you folks are going to be the ones asking them on the chat. Tom is not allowed to ask a question unless you pose it for him, and then he can pick one of those and relay it to me. There are 3 types of tokens in here. Half of them have just a 1 on them. Okay, they are nothing.
Okay, cool.
5 of the other 10 are a -1, and the other 5 have one of these bright red tokens. Okay, it's the 5.
Got it.
Every time you ask a question, Tom, you're going to pick one of these and you're going to give it to me without flipping it. You don't have to flip it. You'll ask your question. It has to be a yes or no thing. I'll give you your answer, and then you may, after that, flip the one you gave me. Okay?
I don't have to flip
You
it.
don't have to.
Oh.
You have a guaranteed 20 questions if you flip none of those. And that's it, 20 questions. Every time you flip one, though, if you flip one of these, well, nothing happens. But if you flip one of these, I will remove one. That costs you 2 questions, that 1 question. Okay?
Oh, I'm sorry ahead of time, everybody. This is bad for me.
If you flip this one, I will give you a random letter in the answer. And I have a spinner app on here with the game input, and it is a game.
How many letters did you say?
I'm not going to tell you how many. And I'm going to spin it, and it'll select a random letter from the answer. I'll give you that letter. I'll turn off that letter so that if you spin again, you can't get the same letter. You got it?
I'm ready.
So that's these
I better not hear
3.
like letter 23 is H.
Well, I'm not going to tell you which letter. So these.
Oh, you won't even tell me what letter it is in the word.
No, I'm giving you a letter.
Oh, my word. That's not very helpful, but all right.
There you go.
All right, mix them up.
All right, these are actually out. They are mixed up.
Oh,
there's 20 there.
You're so prepared.
These are just for the explanation. All right, I got the game pulled up here. I got the spinner in case you pull a 5. And if you have any specific questions, I should be able to see them.
All right,
hopefully
give me some questions.
Cannot see the
Put
screen.
them in. I can't see the screen. Give me some questions. Is it? Don't ask if it. I'm not asking if it's raw.
Maybe you want to ask.
We actually talked about this earlier today.
It might be. You never know. It is a game, by the way. I'm not going to have you guess whether it's a game or a person. I think we're just going to go with games for the foreseeable future.
Well, I only got one so far. Is it smaller than a Ticket to Ride? Hang on. Is it smaller than a Ticket to Ride size box?
Yes.
Nah, flip it. I got questions to burn. Oh no. Oh wait. So do I get to see which one went out?
No.
It's harsh. Harsh. I was nice to you in my game.
No. Take another one.
I can't ask that question. I'm not asking. Someone asked if Asmodee makes that. That's a little hard because they're so widespread and they might actually carry it in another country, so that can be a little confusing. If you give me a little bit more focus on that, I can ask that question. Okay, here's one from April. Is it a card game?
Yes, you got to pull one of those.
I'll just keep flipping them. Doesn't matter at this point. All right, I want one of those 5s. All right, so it's a card game, smaller than Ticket to Ride. That's what we know so far. Okay, that's interesting. All right, I'll ask that. Jason says, is it 2-player only?
Yes.
Ooh, I'll flip it. I'm feeling. Oh, come on. So there's 5 of those in there?
There's 5 of each. There's 5 of the 5s, 5 of the -1s.
Well, maybe I got lucky and Z pulled 2 more -1s out of those -1s. Don't.
I'm not telling you.
Well, I know that. Look at your eyes. All right, so we know it's a card game. That's 2-player only. So let's go from there.
Okay. What do you got now? I'm not going to let you read my eyes anymore.
Okay, Jordan. Do the cards have numbers on them?
What?
Do the cards in this game have numbers on them?
Yes.
Well, that's actually a good question. I thought, I'll take this and flip it.
I thought that was a bad question.
Well, you know what? Yes, give me a random letter!
All right, here we go.
Oh, there's sound effects. It's very exciting.
E.
Yes, I got it. There's an E in it. Well, that takes out Targi at least, right?
It does.
So Targi's out. So is not very many others. Alrighty. Okay, Michael asked this. Here's my next question. Does it have a reprint or newer edition?
No.
No. I'm always going to flip them, probably. Are you kidding me? Maybe I'll stop flipping them.
Well, that's the idea, right? I want you to. I'm forcing you to burn through.
Well, at some point, I'm going to keep flipping them.
That's the thing, but I'm not showing you
the
the other ones because if I showed you like all the 5s, for example, you would stop flipping.
Or if you all the negatives, I would keep flipping.
You would keep flipping, right? I can't show you the ones. But so far, you've burned through. You've asked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. But you've got almost half your tokens gone.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to ask. This one is from Madia. Did it come out in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Flip it. Yes, give me another letter. A 2-player card game, smaller than Ticket to Ride, last 5 years, no E, or if you say E again, I'm going to go. No, there is an E. Sorry.
O.
Or what?
Oh.
It's magic. All right. There's an E and an O. I feel like we should have some information from that there, folks.
I'm looking at it right now. I don't know why this is so hard.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. Okay, well, someone had said that Tom played this game 1 million times with his wife. I can't if it came out in the last 5 years. So if it came out in the last 5 years, I'll answer this question from Roy. Not our Roy, but Roy O.
Roy, get off the computer.
Does it have other components than cards?
Yes.
Flip it.
Okay, that's
garbage. Put that over here.
I know, I gotta count how many actual questions you asked. All right. So you should have a pretty decent. I mean, you're starting to form something. Hopefully,
I actually have a guess, but I don't want to guess yet. It's too early.
Well, it's just a question if you guess, right?
All right, James. Is it made by Fantasy Flight?
Yes.
Flip it.
Flip it. You can flip it.
I'll flip it.
All right, that's
I'll flip you.
Okay.
All right, I think I know it.
You still can't say it until somebody asks.
Big Ben McGuire.
Oh, not Big Ben. He's a shark.
Big Ben McGuire, I will ask. Is it Keyforge? Woohoo!
It is indeed Keyforge.
Ah, I lost a question.
And that is,
I don't know why I flipped it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter at that point. You got it, and you got it. I am impressed.
People guessed Keyforge earlier, and then the E and O, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I am very impressed, folks. I'm going to have to step up my difficulty. I really thought you might not get it. But clearly, the internet hive brain is
Hive brain
killing
is pretty powerful.
It
if
is
you do that for guessing purposes.
So good job, everybody, and good job to
Woo-hoo!
you, Tom.
We won 2 times in a row. He's a loser.
I'll come back.
Next time, 3 questions only.
They're all negative ones. Let's keep on going, everybody.
Hey there everyone, it's Jen, the board game librarian, flipping some pages and pushing some cubes with my segment From the Page to the Table. Sorry it's been a little while, but we're hopefully back to business. And we're back to business with pairing some books and some board games together. This week, we're going to take a look at the first book in a series, The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. This is a book that I wouldn't necessarily describe as fantasy or science fiction or even steampunk or mystery. It's kind of a little of everything going on. The first in the Invisible Library series, this follows a librarian and her apprentice who come from a centralized library out in the world. It's so many levels, it can take you weeks to walk from one area to another area. And they're on a mission to save some of the world's, and I do mean multiple worlds, most precious books. So with this, I'm going to pair a somewhat brand new game, Obscurio. And you've probably been wondering, Jen, have you played this yet? It's by Liebe Lund, 2 to 8 players, a variable amount of time. So you are in a library, and you and your team of people are looking to get out of the library. Now, to me, that might be my worst nightmare ever. But in Obscurio, you are really trying to successfully get out of the library. And we got a lot of Mysterium things going on here, where your person is giving you cards to help you progress to opening the next door. Those who are looking for something that's a little lighter than Mysterium, not quite as thinky, a little more party style, Obscurio is wonderful, and it takes place in a library. What could be better? That's all for this week. Happy breakfast!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Mystery Component video, a segment where I show you a picture of a game piece, and it's up to you to try to guess what game that piece comes from. So, let's put on our thinking caps, because here is this week's picture. Okay, time's up, pencils down, and thinking caps off. And the answer to this week's question is Everdell. Everdell is a tableau building worker placement game where players will be gathering resources to be able to play cards from their hand, as well as from the shared board area called the meadow. Players will send out animal meeples to gather twigs, pebbles, resin, and berries in order to play cards which contain either tiny buildings or the forest critters that live within them. The game is played over the course of 4 seasons. Each player starts the game with only 2 meeples, but will unlock 4 more before the game ends. When a player enters a new season, they will either activate effects on certain cards they have previously played, or gain extra cards to their hand from the meadow, as well as gaining extra meeples. Players may choose to enter a new season at any of their turns, so it is possible to finish your game before your opponents, but players must be careful since they may only play a maximum of 15 cards into their tableau. Everdell is a wonderfully fun game with captivating artwork that is sure to put a smile on anyone's face. And that's this week's game. Congratulations to everybody who got it right, and to everybody else, there's always next week. Until then, I hope we all have a happy breakfast and a Merry Christmas.
And that's it for another board game breakfast. Now, realize that this one is a little shorter and stuff because the holidays are here, so we don't have as many segments and things. We'll be back. It will get bigger as the year goes by. Also, keep Kat in your thoughts, who does our Kickstarter news. She's had some sickness and other things going on in her family that she had to deal with, and that's why we haven't had the Kickstarter news. But she said she'll be back as soon as all that stuff is dealt with. I'll be back today, 1 o'clock, with another top 10 list from 2019. We're almost done with those. And other than that, we're preparing for 2 things, our Kickstarter and the top 100 games of all time coming out next week. But there's also reviews and things going up, so keep your eye out for that.
That's it.
Anything else?
Lots of goodies. Hey, you got to get cracking on the lists from 2020. This whole 2019 thing is so last year.
Oh, the best of 2020.
Let's go.
Alrighty, folks. Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Thanks for being part of it. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I am Z Garcia.
Have fun gaming. Bye.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff, in stock, at CoolStuffInc.com.